Hey everybody, John here. I just got a new version pushed to my car. Let me just pull up the software section and show everybody here. So I received 10.69.2.3, which is release 2022.20.18. So that just came in last night. I installed it this morning. I'm going to take it for a quick drive. One quick thing. So this bothers probably me a lot more than anybody else, but I've been using this little microphone from my iPhone connector cable or whatever microphone. This is a really great way of getting high quality audio. However, it doesn't look that great. So I had purchased this quite a while back. It's a video mic. It's called the Mi L from Rode. And this little windscreen comes off, and it's basically a shotgun microphone. And it's supposed to be really, really high quality, but it never worked correctly. So I found out that it was broken, and I sent it in for repair. They just shipped me a whole new one. So props to Rode. Thank you so much. I'm going to sub this out right now, and I'm very curious. I want to get your feedback, especially during the drive, if you like the new microphone or not.
All right, so this is the new microphone. Hopefully it's a little bit better. Maybe not. We'll see. So, all right, let's take a look at where we're going to be heading here. So I'm going to drive over to this area where there's two roundabouts. It's about 5 minutes away here, so it's a real quick drive out and back. We'll just give it a quick test. There was nothing really substantial in the release notes regarding any new features. I did get some information on Twitter that it has improved kind of the address detection. In other words, when you put in a new location, it doesn't say location not found or there's no message there, and it kind of has better and faster navigation capabilities. I wish they'd release some more information, be a little bit more transparent in their releases so we understand kind of what they're fixing in the background. It'd be really cool to know that. It's kind of the geek inside of me that wants to know that, but it is what it is. We just kind of have to go along with everything and test it out on our own to see if we can notice any differences, which I highly doubt I will today, but you never know. Let's go ahead and test it out. All right, so we're out on the road, and all I need to do is double tap down to turn it on. I have the destination already dialed in, and the car will take over and take us all the way there, hopefully without any interventions or disengagements. I have been having a lot of disengagements where the car just doesn't get over early enough into a turn lane, and that's been a little bit annoying for me. Interventions, mainly when I'm getting on the highway, I have to step on the accelerator to kind of get it going quicker so it can merge a little bit more safer. Okay, so here it is completely clear on the left, and the car decides to go, and that was a beautiful, nice, smooth right turn. Really well executed. Timing was great. There's nobody behind us that I was aware of, but it did that very, very well. So here it's slowing down. This has been an issue since 10.12.2 came out. There is no stop sign here. This remains an issue, so I'm going to have to intervene. Really strange that it sees that as some place where it needs to stop. So I'm going to report that once again, and that remains an issue. So there is one intervention already. So we've got about 2 miles, and then we're going to be turning left. It says we're turning right, but that's just a temporary destination that I had to put in so that I could force the car to go through these two roundabouts. It is relatively quiet here. It's Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. I've got a meeting at 10 o'clock coming up, and wanted to test this out real quick, just give it a 10-minute spin, and give you my review here as quickly as possible, and let you know kind of what I observed. So it's staying in this lane, which is fine because I did tell it to get off coming up here on the right side of the road. I'll pan over here so you can see kind of where we're headed. Now I do this very cautiously because the camera is looking at me, and if it sees me going around on the screen, it's going to yell at me and potentially give me a strike. So previously I was getting instant strikes. I haven't gotten any of those in a long time. I haven't seen, though, the please pay attention to the road message since June. So that's a really long time, because I was not getting that message at all. I would just get the instant strikes. So not sure if that still comes up or not, but I have not been willing to test it because I almost got put in FSD Beta jail, timeout, where you can't use it. So there's a person on the side of the road that picked it up really nicely there on the side of the road. I'm going to expand it over. So as you can see, we're going to come up at a final destination. We are not turning right there. So it's highly likely we're going to stay in this far right lane, and then I'll have to kind of take over to kind of get it over into the other lane, the left turn lane, so that we can go to the second destination. In fact, I might, right when we get really close to the destination, I might have to just cancel out so that we can get it to go jog over there into that business park. I think if I do that past, because what was happening before, and I can do this safely now that we're at an intersection.
So when I say safely, I mean that the car is not going to complain that I'm looking at the screen and kind of interacting with it since I'm stopped. Now in version 10.3 and 10.4, 10.5, all the earlier versions, you would still get a message that would come up saying, please pay attention to the road, even if you were staring at the screen at an intersection. So it is evident to me that something has changed with the in-cabin camera and the driver monitoring system.
This little ellipsis, and you say edit trip, and there we go, the car just takes off. I love that. See, now I wasn't even paying attention. I really should be paying a lot more attention. So this is one of the dangerous things about beta right now, is it's kind of this quasi, automated feature, and it's really not reliable enough to kind of just sit back yet. And yet it does a lot all on its own. And if you're not paying attention, it can do something wrong. But generally speaking, when you're at a traffic light, I mean, especially with no one's in front of you like that was, pretty safe. I just love the fact that it saw that before I did, and it just started going. And the person behind me is like, oh, hey, cool, this guy's paying attention, and I totally wasn't. All right, so we're getting close here. But basically, when you get to this, if you want to edit your destination or remove a waypoint, you just hit the X there. So I'm going to do that here right after we hit the Portillo's, which is coming up really soon here. Alright, so Portillo's is right here. We just passed that. Now it should start going over to the left. I'm going to cancel that out, say done. Okay, good. Now it should be going over to the left real quick here. So it's still processing. There it is. It processed. Now it's locked it in. Now let's see if it can get over quickly enough. There's a car in the left lane, and it looks like it's not going to be able to make it because this car is blocking me. So I'm going to have to take over here and drive manually to get all the way over. So that wasn't surprising to me because it was not much distance. But now that we are in the left turn lane, I'll turn it back on. So one neat thing is when you're at an intersection, it does see that red arrow. And when I was living in Michigan, so I live right now in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, but when I was living in Michigan, you really didn't come across traffic lights that had arrows. Most of them were, I mean, I just don't recall ever seeing them there. But here you have a lot of them. You have like these red arrows, you have green arrows. So here it's going to turn green. But the visualization, it might be a little tricky to show you this. The visualization here, to my knowledge, doesn't show it. And you can see that light with the green, with the red arrow right now is actually a little bit different color. It's hard to see, but it actually is a little bit lighter green, lighter red right now than the others. So maybe it is seeing it, but it certainly doesn't display an arrow on the screen. But here, let's see if I can catch this. So I'm zooming in, I'm looking at the road, and it's hard to kind of keep it here, but there it is. It turns green, and as we go under it, see if you can see a arrow. I didn't see any arrows, so I'm pretty sure it doesn't visualize that, but it has to see that because it's amazing to me how it can differentiate between an arrow and the regular light on the other side. Okay, so here we come on up through this roundabout. So this is good. There's some cars here, so we're going to have some interactions. So here comes a car. We have to yield to them. Did really nice there, slowing down for them. And going through nobody else now through the roundabout. Okay, nice. Good, okay, that was very appropriate. Again, not too many cars, but it did yield that first car, which was awesome. And now this other one, we're going to go all the way around and then basically be going left or back west. So we're going north right now. 270 degree. Going through. Okay, car coming up behind us, pretty hot. Okay, they went the other way. Okay, there's a car. They need to yield to us. And they did. Perfect. Nicely done. Okay, no issues there. That was great. You know, I did tell it to go to this business called World Pack, I think, or something like that. So it's going to go into the parking lot here. All right, there we go. And it's saying that we have arrived. Oh, look at that. See, there's a P icon showing up. I might as well demonstrate this really quick. So I don't even know where this spot is, but it says shift to reverse. I don't even need to step on the brake to do that. And I hit start, and it's just going to find one of these spots behind here to park. And kind of neat. This feature, again, I use it sparingly. It's a fun little gimmick. It's entertaining sometimes to play with. It's not always practical because usually it's a lot faster to just kind of park on your own. Like, I would have been parked already. And here, also, I mean, look at this. It's parking right next to this other car. So typically I park far away from other cars just to prevent my car from getting dinged by other car doors. But it did go, you know, perfectly between the lines. It parked, no problem. Everything was done very, very nicely there. I think that feature is built into a lot of other cars. Nothing special there, but it does work. So now that we're all set to go, I can put the car into drive, and we are in this parking spot, and you can see a person right in front of us. It's displaying them. It allows me to turn it on here, and as you can see, the tentacles kind of hovering. It doesn't know whether to go left or right. It's seeing this truck, which is backing up into a parking space, and there goes that pedestrian. It's showing that that car door was open there just for a split second, and there is no door that's open. I've noticed that on the visualizations is that sometimes it'll show a car door that's open when it's really not, and it will sometimes like toggle between being open and closed. Kind of interesting when it does that. Okay, so here's that person walking across, and all we need to do is turn it on. So here we go. Keep your hands on the wheel is the message that's being shown, and it is choosing to go left. Oh, take over immediately. Okay, so it, I think it got confused. It didn't know where to go. So parking lots are still not fully finished, but usually they impress me. I mean, usually it will get out of them just fine. I think in that situation, the tentacle just was like all over the place. It was like, should I go left? Should I go right? It couldn't make up its mind, and then kind of freaked out. So now that we're on this road, let's just confirm. Okay, good. It's still taking us through those roundabouts. So we'll go ahead and double tap to turn it back on. We are at a stop sign, so it has this creep limit. You can see that blue. Okay, and it is going. A car on the left is coming, and it went out just in the nick of time. And it would mean any later, and that would have been an uncomfortable encounter with that other car. So here we come through this roundabout again. Again, not too much traffic again. I mean, this is kind of quieter. Like I said, it's 9:40 now, and really nicely done there. 35 miles per hour. It's going to go up to that 5 miles over the speed limit, and once it goes through here, we'll be back out on the main road again. All right, slowing down. I don't see any other cars in the roundabout at the moment. Okay, it didn't stop. That's good. And went through just fine. Accelerated out of the roundabout. That was nice. Good, okay. And now we're coming up to our destination. So real quick, I'm just gonna, whoops, not add stop. I'm gonna edit trip. and just delete that and say done, and then throw this over. So it's arriving at this destination, but now it's gonna recalibrate or recognize, okay, that's no longer there, and now take us to our final destination. Okay, green light and proceeding through the intersection. All right, nicely done there. And 40 miles per hour, it is recognizing it as 40 and then going up to 45. And then we are gonna be getting over to the left. I generally would have already gotten over to the left. So there's 2 cars in the far right lane, and there's 1 car in both of the other lanes. And I always try to get to the lanes that have the fewest amount of cars possible. That's just me. It's like playing Tetris. I kind of try to fill in the lanes. But Beta doesn't seem to care about that. And quite frankly, if I was in a rush, or if I was really bothered by this, I would probably take over. But I'm not, and I'm easy going here today, so we'll let it stay in this lane. So we've got about 2 miles before we're going to be turning left. So plenty of time to get over, but it's handling this really well as far as this main road goes. So the suburbs aren't extremely fascinating or extremely intriguing to watch Beta videos on. This is why I am hoping if I can break away from daddy-daughter time. And here's the thing, so there's a trade-off, right? So you can spend all this time editing videos and lock yourself in your room and dedicate yourself to your YouTube channel, or you can spend time with your family. And it's a tough balance, right? So then you have your job, right? So there's a lot of things just begging for your time. And I really want to read stories to my kids at night, which I'm so bad at doing. I haven't done that in a long time. We always pray at night. At least we try to. It's not every night, but I try to instill these values with my daughters. And the father's role in a family is really important. And if I'm not there, and if I'm just constantly doing my own thing, then they miss out on a lot. And I don't think about that, but later I sure will. So there's that balance, right? Anyway, if I get a chance this weekend, I can do some testing downtown. So I'm an Uber driver, and I've gone on a couple drives, but man, it's a lot harder to get out there and use it than I thought as far as time commitment goes. But yeah, I really want to do some more Beta videos down in the city. It's just that trade-off of the family versus Beta time, So overall impressions, since we're getting kind of close now to our final destination, overall impression, I would say that this is very similar to the version before. So it's still stopping at that mystery area on this road, and not sure why it's doing that. So I'll continue to report that. And as far as roundabouts go, they seem to be operating pretty well. I didn't have any issues today. Have they improved significantly since 10.12.2 or previous versions? Not that I've noticed in particular. Overall, the steering is a lot smoother, I would say. What else? Some of the decisions are a little bit more human-like. Like, it just seems to be a little bit more robust than it was before. It will still make mistakes. It will miss getting in the turn lane sometimes now. When I first started testing on version 10.3, there were a lot of cases where it would miss the turn lane. And then it got better, and it would not miss them anymore. And now it seems to have kind of regressed and gone back. And not in the same situations, not in the same areas, but in areas where I've never driven before, multiple times it will miss those turn lanes. So that's been a little bit disappointing. What else? I did some more testing with some mannequins on 10.69.2.2, so the previous version from this one, and I compared that to 10.12.2 because I did another video, yet another video using that software, and it's probably 75 gigabytes of video footage that I'm sifting through still to kind of edit and condense down. So eliminating footage is really hard. But I'm still working on that video, so hopefully I'll have that out soon, and everybody can see the results, kind of the before and after. So Elon Musk said that the ability to recognize objects and react is 10 to 20% better. And I did some tests, and I did notice that the stopping distance is improved, but I didn't notice when I drove manually with the emergency braking system that it started braking earlier when it detected an object. So that was one thing that seemed to be the same. But as far as the beta functionality, or I didn't test autopilot, I wish I had done that, but as far as the beta functionality goes, it did certainly slow down a lot sooner than it had before. Alright, so once this turns green, we'll go ahead and wrap up this video, but overall impressions seems to be the same. I don't really notice any big differences. Again, this release is for bug fixes. This isn't anything else other than bug fixes. So a very minor release. And as far as major functionality goes, I doubt we're going to notice anything in the next week or so of testing. And hopefully a new version will come soon after that. So this is nice because now it seems every 2 to 3 weeks we're getting updates, whereas previously it was, I hadn't gotten an update since middle of June, I want to say, and that was 3-4 months of waiting. So it seems they're kind of on a quicker cadence. Someone had mentioned on Twitter that the average updates is like 3 weeks apart. I can't remember if that was accurate or not, but anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you like my videos, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.